Hi, my name is Shawn, and I did a strength and conditioning program for patellar tendonitis with Mars. So, what is patellar tendonitis? Patellar tendonitis, also known as jumper's knee, is a condition that is caused by the overuse and strain on the knee. This happens usually in sports that involve a lot of jumping, such as basketball, volleyball, and/or running. So, why did I choose to do this? As an athlete who struggles with patellar tendonitis myself, I not only wanted to learn how to strengthen my own body, but to help others strengthen theirs. So, what were some steps that I took to achieve that goal? The first one being research. I found different exercises and skills that can be achieved during training, working and continuing with activity even with tendonitis. The second step being creating good habits, such as stretching before and after activity, eccentric exercises that could be done both at home and in the weight room. And like I said before, the client should be able to exercise even with tendonitis. The third step being the testing. How will I test if this is successful? Using a pain scale before and after each workout and mimicking rebounds until pain began. So for scheduling, slower is faster, so allowing your body to rest, especially with tendonitis, is the most crucial thing to do. With my client, we worked together for 2 days and I had him do 2 to 3 alone. So, eccentric versus concentric. Which one are we focusing on? During an eccentric contraction, the muscle lengthens as the resistance becomes greater than the force the muscle is producing. Whereas in concentric, the muscle tension rises to meet the resistance placed onto the muscle while remaining stable as the muscle shortens. So in short, concentric, the muscle shortens, which is the lifting phase, and eccentric, the muscle lengthens, which is the lowering phase. In this program, Mars and I focused on eccentric exercises. Eccentric exercises, while mixing in tempo, will better further his progress in easing patellar tendonitis. Building muscle requires the muscle to go through micro tears. Eccentric tempo induces a higher value of muscle damage, making the time for progress to show shorter than without eccentric tempo. So, what is eccentric tempo? Eccentric tempo refers to the speed or duration of the eccentric phase of a movement, slowing down the lowering of the exercise. You might take 3 to 5 seconds to lower the weight, slowly counting down to yourself or to your client. So for baseline testing, I had Mars complete an exercise that mimicked getting rebounds to understand just how long it took for pain to begin, along with how bad his case of tendonitis is. So what were some workouts that were done outside of the weight room? I had him do single leg box jumps. Single leg box jumps helps strengthen the quads, hamstrings, glutes, as well as stabilizing the muscle. This workout also helps with improving balance, coordination, and explosiveness. So next was abductor strengthening. Strengthening the abductors is important to help with knee alignment along with stability, reducing stress on the patellar tendon along with the improvement of biomechanics. So strengthening the abductors is very important and crucial with knee alignment. When the abductors are weak, it can cause your knees to collapse inward. This also helps with the reducing strain possibility and better hip and pelvic stability. So solo tempo squats. This helps with controlled eccentric movement, time under tension, movement mechanics, and reduced impact on the tendon. Now, when we worked together, we did a twofold program. So this helps with both vertical strength as well as experiencing less pain. First exercise we did in the weight room was a back squat. So I had him do 5 reps of 5 sets, counting to 5 slowly, having him pause and exploding back up. We started off light with the weight, using 10 on each side. Weight can and should be increased after 4 to 5 weeks of this exercise. Eccentric strengthening, so adding a controlled load helps the tendon handle stress. Controlled movement, reduce strain. This helps reduce the risk of poor movement patterns and helps the person maintain proper form. Load progression and mechanic improvement. So wall sits. This was done right after back squats. This is done after squats to help target the quads without overloading the knees or tendons. This helps activate and engage the quads, increases the blood flow to the muscles and the surrounding muscles, and reduces tendon stress. Finally, I had him do a hamstring stretch, stretching both sides for 10 seconds, pulling the leg as far back as possible, and locking his other leg in place to prevent it from coming up. This helps relieve tension on the patellar tendon, improves flexibility. After the first time, his leg was able to go back further. This reduces post-exercise tightness and helps recovery and blood flow. So progress. How do I know that this worked? After working out at home and having a few days together, Mars had less complaints about pain after activity. First week, Mars's pain scale would begin at a 0 and end at a 5. Once the second week rolled around, it went from a 0 to a 2 and sometimes a 3 if we worked in the weight room together, which was expected. Mars plays both basketball and volleyball, so I asked him how his knees felt after games and practices before the program even started. And he had many complaints, such as an inability to walk, pain and an uncomfortable feeling, and a lack of confidence in his own body. Once the program was finished, Mars told me that the recovery time was much quicker, along with the fact that he was able to partake in activity much longer after working with me for only 2 weeks. Finally, we used the exercise that was shown in the baseline testing again, and the progress was evident. Before, it took Mars 10 to 15 rebounds until he started feeling pain. Now it takes almost 30 rebounds for the slightest pain to arise.